to the Rosbifs Rugby Guide to Aurillac. Yes, we are doing a mini dive, deep dive, shallow dive, whatever you want to call it, into each club within Pro Day Dirt. If you want to see the other ones for the other clubs in Pro Day Dirt, then make sure you subscribe. They should be within this same playlist as well. But Aurillac are the team we're looking at in this video, and they are one of the stalwarts of Pro Day Dirt. They were so close to going down last season. They had to play the access match away at Chambéry, which they won pretty convincingly. No one wanted to see them go down because of the role that they play within Pro Day Dirt and the fact they're such stalwarts, and they are the underdogs. You know, they consistently have one of the smaller budgets within Pro Day Dirt, and as a result of that small budget, they are always scouting for talent from emerging nations, and that's why they play such a big role within Pro Day Dirt and actually kind of international rugby. They are really good at picking up talent from outside the so-called tier 1 nations. They're picking up the talent from across Europe and across the globe, and that's why you should support them. Also, it's a fantastic region. We really want to get there. It's a difficult place to get to, hence why Aurillac is kind of seen as like the tough place to win. Bit like Stoke on a rainy Tuesday night. You know, it's a tough place to go and win. It's high up our wish list. We've not managed to get there yet. It's pretty awkward. It's doable by train from Brive or Clermont. Generally from by car from Brive is probably the easiest. But it's a brilliant region to go and visit. Cantal region is famous for its food. It's got great produce in terms of beef and cheese. Aligot is the local dish. It's a potato dish with a load of garlic and Cantal cheese. And if you are in Aurillac, we would recommend Thé au Café, the coffee shop recommended to us by our fave at Aurillac, Ronan Loughnane. He came on our podcast last season, so check that out if you want to go and listen to that interview. But let's get into kind of Aurillac as a club, as a side. As we mentioned, they were second bottom last season. They had to play the access match to stay up in Pro Day Dirt. We've kind of got them struggling a little. They're never going to be kind of challenging, really. Even though Montauban went from the access match relegation game to being promoted to the top 14 within a season, it'd be a big surprise to see Aurillac get there. I'm going for 13th, Rich going for 11th. He sees something slightly more positive. Mentioned some of the unsung. They are kind of a team of unsung heroes. But the key players that stand out, Lucas Unard, 24-year-old back rower, he's their turnover king, alongside Didier Tisson, their kind of stalwart number 8, experienced head as well in there, and Georgi Kvartashvili, unsurprisingly for Aurillac, with a kind of club that's had so many Georgian players come through, and they're very good at picking up Georgians and kind of feeding them through the French rugby systems. Georgie Barrier, I think, started at Aurillac, for example, French international. Georgi Kvartashvili, unsurprisingly for Aurillac, we've picked out a Georgian prop as one of their key players. But kind of the unsung heroes are kind of at the same level as them, really. Ewan Masterton, he's their kind of standard setter, really experienced head from Ireland. And also, as we mentioned, our Rosbifs fave, Ronan Loughnane. He's the coming man in the front row. He's really talented. He's going to score tries. Brings a bit of bite, bit of edge. He could go far. We reckon this is his year. Another one of his good mates, Robbie Rogers, South African-born loosehead prop, plays a load of games. Came through at Montpellier, where he was a top 14 winner. He played in the top 14 final that they won a couple of years ago. Some unsung heroes there in the pack. And they've got some good young players. And because, again, typically for Aurillac, they are from international or from nations that you perhaps wouldn't have expected. Mehdi Slimani, Algerian lock. He's a big lump. He's been linked with Cast. He's a proper big lump in their second row, plays a load of games. And Tim de Jong, 23-year-old Dutch flanker, kind of lightweight, quick across the turf, great athlete, plays for the Dutch national team as well. Signings wise, we wouldn't ever expect loads from Aurillac, but it has been pretty light this season in particular. But they signed Ben O'Donnell from the Brumbies from Australia, he played against the Lions on the Lions tour this year. So a good player, played a lot of games for the Brumbies last season. That's a good pickup, I reckon. They have, however, lost a lot. 3 key departures, really. Ugo Sun was the top point scorer and highest try scorer last year at fly half. He's gone to Racing. That shows his quality. He's a really promising player. I'm sure we'll talk about him more in our top 14 previews. Mikel Alania, he plays regularly at 9. He's not first choice, but he's regularly on the bench for Georgia. So they've lost their first choice halfbacks, which started to develop a bit of partnership towards the back end of last season as well. Carl Martin, I nearly called him Carl Martin. Carl Martin, Irishman. He was on loan from Montpellier, another one picked up from the Montpellier academy that they try and make GIFs. Played a load of games, powerful running game at centre. They will miss him. He gave them a bit of cutting edge in some of those games. Playing style, I've mentioned it, they kind of pride themselves on being tough to beat, especially at home, but there is more to them than the Stoke on a Tuesday night analogy. A lot of that would have come from Ugo Sun last year, who was magical at times, a really talented, exciting young player. Can they recreate that? They've got some Georgian international halfbacks that could fly half. In a sentence, how will we sum up Aurillac? Perilously close to relegation last season. It will be tough again after losing some of their key players, their Moneyball youngsters, but we will back the Lac. If you've got any questions about Aurillac, get into the comments and make sure you subscribe so you see the other Pro Day team previews. But get in touch. We are at Rosbifs Rugby on all social media, and make sure you listen to the Rosbifs Rugby podcast, which is out every week of the French season. But get in touch with your comments. Get into our comments, slide into them.